If you were looking for something more on the digital side to satisfy your gamer libido, looks like you're gonna have to wait for Mass Effect 5. God bless the Australian Classification Board for blowing the proverbial lid off this high-stakes mystery. Despite this bold and swift kick to the groin of toxic gamer incels everywhere, fret not, because Starfield has some of the best space drugs in all the Milky Way. Space drugs. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to not get demonetized immediately. Wish me luck. Okay, so for those of you who've ever suffered at the hands of
fish-based psychotropic hallucinogens,
Starfield may not be for you. This is evidenced by Starfield's recent Australian Classification Board rating, which landed Starfield a big fat restricted 18+ rating due to high-impact drug use. Yikes. There's a few things to unpack here. Let's start with the Australian Classification Board, or ACB, itself. The Australian Classification Board differs from that of the American ESRB, or Entertainment Software Rating Board, in that it's not a self-regulatory organization that can act in place of government regulation. Unlike the ESRB, the ACB is an Australian government statutory body whose guidelines and restrictions are directly enacted and reinforced by the Australian government, essentially. They're responsible for classification and censorship of all film and video games for sale in the land down under. Not that I'm an expert on the matter, but it seems that the way the ACB is positioned makes them somewhat more strict, or at least more immediately effective at regulating entertainment media compared to America.
Most computer games used to be kinda innocent. Well, things have changed.
You know what? Never mind. That sounds exactly like America when it comes to video games. The ACB is able to effectively censor media by refusing classification, which in turn makes that media illegal for sale or importation. No offense to my Australian viewers, but shouldn't your government be more concerned about the harsh landscape of mutated killer insects and animals that lie in wait to ambush you as soon as you walk out of your front door? Anyway, thankfully being outlawed outright isn't the issue that Starfield is facing in Australia. However, the game has been slapped with the most harsh rating for a video game outside of media containing pornographic material. That rating is restricted 18+. The description of this classification is as follows. R18+ material is restricted to adults as it contains content that is considered high in impact for viewers. This includes content that may be offensive to sections of the adult community. A person may be asked for proof of their age before purchasing, hiring, or viewing R18+ films and computer games at a retail store or cinema. No, the reason for this rating is not because of all the simulated space coitus. As a matter of fact, according to the ACB, Starfield doesn't have any. That's right. None. Nada. Zero. No rough rides on the space rocket, no boning in the cockpit, no moonlit lovemaking in zero-G atmospheres. Sorry, I just had to get that out of my system. Although I'm certain the modders will seek to fix this in quite a hurry, considering some of the first mods for Starfield will probably be along the lines of skin-tight latex spacesuits and exaggerated body dimensions. Look, I just want seamless flight from a planet's surface to outer space, okay? But if I'm playing as a female character, my ass better look good in that spacesuit, because you know I'm going to be playing in third person.
That suit did nothing for your ass.
No one asked you to look, Tony.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, back on point. It strikes me as odd that Starfield is classified by the ACB as having literally zero sex, considering Bethesda's other games and their respective ACB ratings. In regard to companionship mechanics, we're very aware at this point that Starfield is going to have what sounds like a deeper and more complex traveling companion system than ever before, involving romance, moral objections to your actions, personal opinions, decision-making, and even speaking on behalf of your interests. Listen to what Todd Howard had to say about NPC relationships in Starfield on the Lex Friedman podcast.
If there's like a friendship option or make friends or a romance thing, I find those moments really... I enjoy them. I find them pretty impactful emotionally to what we're doing. And so we've done a little bit of it. It's one of the things that we actually have pushed in Starfield. So we have a number of companions, but 4 of them we go, I won't say super complex romantic, but more complex relationships than we've had in terms of not just some, state of they like you or they don't like you, but they can be in love with you and dislike something you did and be pissed at you temporarily and then come back to loving you.
So you would expect the romantic relationships between the player and these characters to be at least no less in-depth than, say, Fallout 4. Of course, in Fallout 4, all you had was the occasional fade to black with the obligatory moaning and groaning, but that was worth a moderate impact rating on sex, according to the ACB. So the point I'm getting to is this. For Starfield to receive a no impact rating for sex, one would assume there's not even implied sex in the game. This is strange to me, just considering that Skyrim had the Lover's Comfort perk when sleeping with your wife or husband, as well as Fallout 4's Lover's Embrace perk for sleeping with your romantic traveling companion. So I suppose we might be taking a step back when it comes to that? Or has the ACB changed what they consider to be impactful when it comes to romance and sex in video games? All I wanted was someone to embrace me in the cold, never-ending void of space.
You die in space cold.
Apparently so, Mr. Howard. Who knows? Maybe we'll still get a nice sit-down cuddle session in place of galactic jig-jig. Well, if you just can't do without it, now's a better time than ever to get into Cyberpunk 2077.
Hey, you looking for some company tonight?
We go somewhere, or is this a dark alley type of party?
So now, on to the reason why Starfield got an 18+ restricted rating. So if not for gratuitous violence or sexual interactions, then what? I'll tell you what. Space drugs! That's right, high-impact drug use. Oh, well, surely the Fallout games all got the same rating because of all the drug use in those games, right? I mean, you couldn't even make it 5 minutes in those games without pumping yourself full of painkillers, stimulants, and drugs that induce psychotic rage. Actually, no. The Fallout games, as well as Skyrim, all got the mature 15+ rating, largely for their level of violent content and mild drug use. So if shooting up with Psycho and bashing someone's head in with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire isn't worthy of the infamous R18+ rating, then Starfield must have some serious drug use. I mean, guys, we're about to down some skull candy and trip out to the 5th dimension and back. Screw the Milky Way, we're going straight to Andromeda, you know what I'm saying? Where we're going, we don't need spaceships. This is what your DARE officer warned you about, okay? They told you to stay away from drugs, but they didn't anticipate that you'd become a fan of Bethesda Games. But anyway, on that note, I'm getting the hell out of here. Thanks a lot for tuning in, as always. Remember, if you don't like Starfield content, and you don't like to be entertained, then don't hit that subscribe button. We like to have fun around here, so unfortunately I don't have any videos that you can set to watch later, so you can pull them up when it's time to take a nap. I do have some really cool videos that are about to pop up on the screen, and you should definitely check them out because they're some of my personal favorites. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Hit that like button and stay tuned for the next NASA Punk video as we look forward to the future.